What's going on, everybody?
So what's up? What's going on?
We back. We back.
Hey, we back tapped in again, man. It's your boy Troy.
It's your boy Sean.
Hey,
Tapped
tapped
in.
in.
Tapped in. So hey, big week. Big
Oh yeah,
weekend.
yeah,
Big
yeah. I'm
weekend.
tapped in a little different this week. Super Bowl champion
Super
now.
Bowl,
Yes, sir.
two-time Super Bowl champ.
2 time, man. Big up to my boys, man. They did that thing, dog.
Hey man, they did it in what's the word I'm looking for?
Convincing
Convincing
fashion.
fashion.
Yes,
Convincing
sir.
fashion. Yeah, yeah. Couldn't even get it. They beat them so bad I couldn't even get the words out.
Man, listen, you know what? I was telling somebody the other day, I'm so glad we acquired Saquon, and he's that extra piece we need to get us there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also glad of his performance that he had during the Super Bowl because it's like, okay, we showed that we had a team.
Right.
Because, everybody's saying, okay, Saquon got us there. That's all we got. We one dimensional. They shut him down, and Hurts
Had
to
a
show
throw.
up. So then you had Smith with a touchdown. You had,
Brown with a touchdown.
Brown with a touchdown.
Man, the
What's
one guy I ain't even
the
seen him get no touchdown this year.
guy from that we acquired from Washington, the young boy,
Yeah.
man, he had some good catches, man. And I mean, Jalen made some great throws, man, except that, for that one interception, but
He
it showed the depth of our team, both sides of the ball. I mean,
and he bounced back from that.
yeah,
He bounced
yeah.
back from that.
So it was just great, man. It highlighted all of our players, man. Like we have a well-rounded team, and depending on who comes back, man, I see a dynasty forming, man.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah, I see a dynasty forming.
You think so? I mean, but y'all got some serious competition. I mean, next year, I mean, Washington is going to get better. I think they need a lot more. I think they need more pieces in order to get to where they did this year. I think they just caught so many people by surprise.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The play, but I just think they still are a couple pieces away. And you still, I mean, um, hopefully, we get our thing together, and if we get there, we a formidable opponent for you guys. But yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think next year is gonna be a pretty interesting year, man. You got a lot of talented quarterbacks that can win on any given night.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And but to me, I was, you go into this Super Bowl and you try to think things, frontwards, backwards.
Hmm.
There's not a way that I thought about this game that I thought y'all was gonna be up 30 something to nothing.
I gave it 2 touchdowns. I say 2 scores, and the only reason I gave it that because I know anybody on that field felt like you can't leave it in the referee's hand.
Yeah, I
at,
did feel that way.
at that point of the game. So if you're gonna beat them, you gotta beat them early. So
Right.
I didn't have that thought process, but for it to be total domination, nah,
Man,
that's
they was beating
Chiefs.
them up, man. They was. I
Yeah,
mean, y'all defensive forefront, man. They was.
you're not even sitting in the house. You got four.
Yeah, everybody else sitting back. I mean, and
That's
just
hard. That's why he couldn't get nothing on.
yeah, and they were just sitting back there waiting to pick him off.
Man,
Like
yeah,
I was thoroughly impressed by the game. I think I was even more impressed by the halftime show.
yeah. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
so for me, I knew that, and I missed a lot of it.
Mhm.
I knew Kendrick's halftime show wanting to be just a regular halftime show, and it's crazy because even in our culture, you got two sides of the spectrum. Some people saying like, "Oh man, that was trash." He didn't even. I didn't like his set play. I didn't like. He had some other hits that he could have played or mixed in there. It seemed like it was too much of one thing. But once you sit down, you almost got to watch that like 2 or 3 times,
Mhm.
to be able to get the actual message. And the message was, I'm not going to do what you want me to do.
Right, right, right. We're not jumping through your hoops.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest.
And I got here the way I wanted to get here.
Yeah.
I ain't had to switch nothing up. You know what I mean? I came up, I mean, I created a song that was a diss track, but it also is a unifying track for where I'm from, what I represent.
Right.
And you know what I mean? It's different.
Okay. So,
Different.
and I'm gonna be honest, man. For years, I felt like football, sports, this entertainment is not the place for like political views or for it could be a little divisive. When I watch the games, I want to hear about the game and kind of take my mind off of everything else. So I
Hmm.
think that's the standpoint. But because they've allowed that platform to become their opinions and they push their agendas,
Hmm.
what better time is there
Right.
to put your
Yes,
message out
out
there?
there.
So I can excuse it and accept it. I loved it. It was entertaining. The
Hmm.
production was off the chain, man.
Right.
Like if you didn't know anything about Kendrick, if you didn't know anything about the beef or never heard any of his songs, just looking at the production and knowing Samuel Jackson, knowing everything that's
You
going
knew it
on,
was something being
how
said.
can you not look at it and say, wow, he put a lot of thought and energy,
Hmm.
man, that's slick,
Right.
It is what
Or
it is.
so you're gonna have two things. I think you're gonna have the people that's like us, like, yo, this is dope. I like this.
Uh-huh.
I know it's some messages in here that I'm probably even missing, but the fact that he's being true and authentic to himself
Yeah.
is great. But then you can have the other people that look at it and they feel very uncomfortable by what they see.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they? And so that should be a question in and of itself. Why do you feel uncomfortable watching this?
Because they're not like us. They're not
Yeah,
like us. I mean,
but it,
it fits in. I mean, it's
yeah,
just, come on.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've seen it. I've seen a couple of the things on social media where they're showing, certain people watching the show, and they just sitting like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, and it's like they so not like us.
And our elder statesmen for the country, I mean, not saying either way, but if you can take out time and listen, and you should be able to listen to anybody and respect their message,
Right.
especially if it has substance. Man, that man had so much substance. Even going back the next day, because I was kind of caught up in the entertainment, mode too. I'm
Hmm.
bopping, and then like just watching people like peel back the layers of what it really was.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's slick. Nah, I didn't even see that.
Right.
Yeah, man, it took a lot. I mean, that was well thought out.
I mean, yeah, like little things about the controller buttons on the
Come
on
on,
the
man.
like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
missed that.
Me too. I didn't even see that view until they, showed me on camera. I said, wow, that's
and
slick.
and then the other one where it was like where the dancers were, it was like a jail yard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, yo, he's sneaking all of this
And
stuff in
the
there.
one got me the most when so there was red, white, and blue as like the flag, but then they got on the backs of each other. And he was like, "Yo, we built this on the backs of each." Like, come on, man.
Yes,
Come on, man.
and,
Yeah, it
and
is
I
what
mean,
it is.
and when you think about it, that whole platform was made off of black people. The entertainment industry. When you go back to when they first started showing people on film,
Mhm.
it was people imitating black people.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
where
Like blackface,
blackface and all that
right?
come from.
You know what I mean? Because they were the talented, they were the curators, they were the creators, and that is what your fashion, your television, your movies, your music
Mhm. Well,
influenced all of it.
well, the NFL, the NFL itself. I mean, when
Right.
you think about, even though the ownership is of one persuasion, the talent. I mean, I heard people liking
Man,
it
that
to.
sound a lot like something
I
that
heard,
happened
I heard a lot of
100 years
people
ago, man.
liking it to that. They put you on the block. We got this one. He's 240 pounds. He's fast. He's strong. But granted, we getting paid.
Right.
They getting paid for it, and it's a way to feed their family. But there's a lot of
Yeah.
similarities.
Yeah, and I could go even deeper into that one, but
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
let we'll let that go for maybe some barbershop talk.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean,
I'm
man?
gonna back. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back up real
Okay,
quick though,
go ahead.
real quick. Just because I don't know how many of my fellow Philly fans out there, man. Salute, big up. Listen, if y'all going into the city tomorrow, man, be safe, man. I know we
Oh, for
about to
sure.
turn up. We about to turn the city up, man. It's a historical moment, but just be safe, man. I got like 3 invites to go, and man, the old man got to sit this one out, man. Me and that type of crowd, man, with no destination. It'd be
Right.
different if I was going and I had a destination, but just to be out there, and
Yeah,
I don't think I'm built for it
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little
You
much.
45-year-old LeBron trying to hang it up right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like,
It's like, man, it's time to hang it up. It's too much, man. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun for those
oh,
who,
sure.
but I'm
Gilly
sure it's
gonna
gonna
be
be.
out there acting a fool.
Oh man, Gilly, man, big up to Gilly
Man,
too.
I honestly, man, I want I don't think they wanted to let Gilly down, man. I think Gilly got y'all there, man. I don't think they wanted to let Gilly down, man. He talked so much trash putting on for the city. I mean,
Man, we got a new mascot in human form, man. That's him.
that's
That's
him.
Gilly, man.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
brought so much energy, man, just to the city, and then what he's doing on the internet is crazy, man. It's
It,
unreal, man.
it is,
This
man.
this all for energy.
And
How can you
and
hate off of that, man?
it's crazy because the Super Bowl you usually want to talk to the players.
Yeah,
Man, some of these media outlets want to talk to Gilly.
man. Yo, could
Yo,
get
how you feel about
interviews. Yeah.
it? Yeah, I'm like, what?
And he's hugging the owners, man, the coaches, the owners after the game. Like, how you get that type of access?
Hey,
And Kevin Hart couldn't even get that far. They
shut him down.
they shut him.
Hey, you ain't Gilly.
No,
You ain't
that's
Gilly.
crazy,
You
man.
ain't Gilly.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Mhm.
that's what's up. So I mentioned barbershop, man.
Mhm.
So I mean, this is something, near and dear to me. You know, what I mean, my mom had a salon, and I grew up, cutting hair, and then we kind of split it up where we had the beauty salon and the barbershop. But what's your take on barbershop etiquette? Like, what what is the role of the barber in the barbershop?
Oh, man,
What do you think the role should of the barber in the barbershop should be?
um, that's a great question, man. Me and my brother actually talk about this a lot. Um, I think barbershops, and I'm gonna be honest, is how you market yourself. Because if you market yourself as a family barbershop,
Hmm.
where if I can't, I remember when my boys was younger, it's times I couldn't take them to the barbershop, and
Hmm.
my wife would get up on Saturday and she had to take them
Hmm.
to the barbershop. Maybe we had something going on that weekend, and I always wanted her to go to a barbershop where they respected both men, women, and kids.
Hmm.
So the conversation were to a minimum. They were respectful conversations. If you had the music on,
Hmm.
it was an acceptable type of music.
Hmm.
However, barbershops could be a boys' club too. It
Hmm.
could be therapeutic for men to be able to come and vent and talk. So I think it depends on what you want your shop to be.
Hmm.
Because me as a parent, I had to decide, is this a place out? Don't mean it's a bad place
Hmm.
to take my kid if I don't like the conversations, I don't like the movies that they play. This is just not one for the kids.
Hmm.
But as a grown man, might be a spot I want to go because I know I'm going to cut up. And
Right.
so I think it just depends on your clientele and who's coming in.
So my thought behind that is I disagree because I think a good quality barbershop should be all of those things, right? It's a place where you can go and you can relax. You can get I mean, you can get a hot shave, you can get a towel, you get your
Mhm.
hair washed. You know what I mean? You can get perfectly
Mhm.
groomed up. Get some nice Creed or
Mhm.
Versace or what I mean, something sprayed on you when you get done. Have a good conversation. But I think it's also a space where you passing along wisdom and tradition,
Mhm.
right? So, I think to me, what my vision of a barbershop is where you can come in and if it's four men in there and they cutting up, they can cut up. But as soon as you see a female come in there, that conversation and that whole vibe has to
Respect.
change.
Yeah, yeah. This
As
is
soon as
respect.
you
Yeah.
see a young kid come in there, that
Mhm.
conversation has to change.
Mhm.
Why? Because it's about showing them. It's about showing respect to them, but also being a model of what men should do in the presence of women and
Right.
children,
Mhm.
right? And it's just like the dad might come in there on a Thursday night. Like you can have a barbershop where it's like, okay, well, between 7 and 9, I'm not cutting any kids. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm saying.
it,
Just make it intentional and,
right.
and and how you put it out there. Because honestly, it's some days where okay, let's say I'm off today. I got free time, and I don't want to handle any business. I just want to relax.
Mhm.
I might want to get into a few debates. You know what I mean? Just some friendly debates. So I know what to do. I'm gonna pull up to the barbershop. I'm gonna get me, you know what I mean, get
Mhm.
tapered up, but I'm gonna have some good conversation. We're gonna cut up, but I'm going there with that intention that I already know I'm about to stir these boys up. We about to
Mhm.
go in, and it's fun and it's
Mhm.
like I said, it's therapeutic and conversation might go somewhere else. But as a parent, that same time, if I had young kids or that at this age, stage grandkids,
Mhm.
if I was buying, I might say, "Now I'm not gonna go to this shop today
Mhm.
because I know they're a little much." You know what I
Right.
mean? And then I think it's also about asking because my I had a situation where my brother he lives in Dover, so he come down. I'm not naming the barber, but the barber, nice setup, likes to play his TV, and he always plays some ratchet movies. You know what I
Right.
mean? So my brother was sitting in the barbershop. He has two young men. You know what I mean? They're young. I'm talking about 11, and 7, 6, 7.
Mhm.
So he had to keep them outside. They sitting outside, and he's waiting until it's their turn. But it's getting darker outside, and they outside in the car. So he didn't really know how to approach it. So I walked in. I said, "Hey, man, my nephew's here. They not, they really don't like them." He said, "Oh man, my bad," and turned the channel.
Mhm.
And what's simple as just
Asking.
asking.
Right.
So, and I think a lot of times people get a bad rap. Say, "Oh man, they play these comedies. They play." Well, I don't know. It's offensive
Mhm.
unless you tell me.
Right. And some of that is growth of the barber, right?
Mm-hmm.
The younger you are, the more I mean, you're not as cultured, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is like I think that the barbershop should be that place for debate and conversation and for guidance. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
and to be able to kind of bridge the gap where you're talking for a spectrum from 1-year-olds getting their first haircut to 80, 90-year-old guys that's just enjoying their last days in life and the wisdom that a barber gets in between,
Oh my God, yeah,
on
it's
both
a wealth.
sides of
Yeah.
that, it's a wealth of it. And I think they should be driving conversations because I don't think there's honestly if they really think about it, I don't think there's a more influential person in a black community than a barber. You know what I mean? Because you could be, let's just say, so like for me, when I left barber and I got into real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people look at that particular profession a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And so they might not want to have certain conversations with me because they think that I'm gonna look at them a certain way because they're asking a question or they may feel like, oh, this might be a dumb question I'm asking them or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And like it comes with this kind of stigma. The same as if I was a doctor or if I was a lawyer.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right.
They're not gonna have that real honest conversation and be vulnerable because they don't want to be judged. In a barbershop,
It's free for all,
it's
man.
free for all,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
And,
what I love
and
about
yeah,
it.
and in a barbershop, you may have a guy who's in there who actually really knows what he's talking about. And then you've been in a barbershop where a joker just be talking like he
Yeah.
knows something, but really don't know anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's up to the barber to be like, like, okay, yeah, but this guy over here, I've heard him talk about this stuff before. I think you should probably talk to
Mm-hmm.
him because I think he can probably guide you in that right direction. But I think just the overall vulnerability and transparency that happens, it's the heartbeat of the community
Absolutely.
going coming in and out of there. Like they hear stuff before anybody else
But
hears
you
stuff
just said
most of the time.
that's a good point right there. Now that's the point I was about to make. Now, barbers have a responsibility too, man, because they can kind of check the temperature of a community and like work
Mhm.
wildfire
Yep.
because like you say, they do hear a lot first. I mean, they're in everybody's neighborhood. When they come sit in that when you sit in that chair, your neighborhood there,
Yep.
your household, the next household, and they're all, you sitting there 20, 30 minutes, you talking.
Right.
So you by the end of the day, they have so much information that if they're not responsible in the way that they use this
They
information,
could damage the
it,
community.
it could damage the community.
Yeah.
So it's a big responsibility for a barber,
Yeah,
man.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So like if you was in the barber shop, man, what do you think your barber would say about staying in Airbnbs or in a hotel right now, man? Cause we just came back, from a trip. I think we stayed in the hotel. I think you guys
Yeah,
stayed.
we stayed in the hotel
You
too.
stayed in the
Yeah, it was
hotel, but like for you, man, how do you like when you travel now? What are you look? Are you looking at Airbnbs or are you looking at hotels?
accommodation wise. Now, when you're traveling with a group, Airbnbs are ideal,
Hmm.
but I'm starting to steer away from them. Man, I'm almost if I had the option, it's almost like the same between Uber and taxis and stuff. Man, I like traditional.
Mhm.
I'd rather jump in the taxi if it's right there. The same way with hotels. I'd rather book a hotel, security features. You see who come in and out. Airbnb, I don't feel the security is there, man.
Yeah.
It's just not there, man. And you got closets. I've been staying in Airbnbs that had locks on certain doors inside of the home
Right.
that we couldn't get into.
Right.
So I don't know if this is audio, visual, studio, or
Right.
what's going on in there.
Right.
You know?
And for me, I feel the same way, man. It's too many. There's too many small, unnoticeable devices that could be cameras. You know what I mean now, or devices that could be microphones, right? And it's just like I know I'm in somebody else's home. I know how I'm going to treat their home. It doesn't mean that everybody else is going to treat their home in the same way.
Right.
And 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 I guess what really started bringing this to my attention was I think last year we had we went down to Florida. We actually drove, and I stayed in North Carolina, and we got an Airbnb there, right? Going up to the house, they had cameras on the outside of the house, right? Which, like, okay, that's the first time I've been in one where they had, where I visibly seen the camera when I came in. But when we left, I think when we got there, I had a question. I texted them. They texted me right back, But when we left, we do what we normally do. Like we always, straighten up, put trash away, all that kind of stuff. And the guy, when I left, I text him and let him know, hey, we been checked out, we gone, you can come back, send the cleaners or whatever. Later on that evening, he sends me a text thanking me. He's like, man, I really appreciate the way you left the place. But it was in a way that he's not used to people taking care of.
Right. So maybe he did have cameras in there.
I'm not saying he had cameras in there, but there was something noticeably different when we left than when most of the people left. And it's just like, okay, I know me and my family, but I know there's other people out there that'll rent a house out just for a party. You know what I mean? So they're not gonna leave the house the same way. But just that level of, it's like I appreciated that, but then on the other end, it's just like, okay, he could have had cameras on the inside too. It could have been watching everything that we was doing as well. And if we was doing something that didn't go in line with what he wanted to have in that house, he could have called the cops or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Left you vulnerable doing what you normally do inside of your clothes.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And man, I think with the Airbnbs too, what's unsettling to me is everybody got a key. I know this is your spot, but some of them is actually your home. So that means your kid that stayed from out of town might have a kid. You got a kid. So it's almost like, man, okay, did the neighbor see when I leave and whatever I'm in town for, I'm leaving for 5 or 6 hours out of the day. You know what I mean? You got a kid, you can come in, you can do whatever, you can snoop. And okay, it might not even be something. There's so much scams out there today. It might not be something you use tomorrow, the next day. But if you collect enough information, then next month, I'm wondering how this got charged, how this happened.
Right.
It just leaves you wide open, man. The Airbnbs, man. Then you never know the actual owner. You don't have a tie back. You got to tie back to a website or to a, you know.
Yeah, to me, it all comes down to security. And I mean, in the hotel, it's, there's still certain things that could happen, but you got to have a key fob to get into the room, and maybe it's just because of more what I'm used to, but the fact that that's the business that they do. It's not just my room that's there. There's 100 other rooms there, and that's what they make their money off of, as opposed to somebody who might just be getting into real estate investing. And this is, because all investors aren't the same. Some people treat their rental property, they want you treated like they stay there. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not how you got to look at that. You know what I mean? It's an asset that's going to make you money, but you got to realize that once you put it out there that it's available, that the people are not going to treat it exactly the same way you would.
Some people don't live
the same
to that standard.
Right. So you can't expect that. And I just feel like it just leaves you, I just feel like a sense of vulnerability, man, when I'm staying in one.
Yeah.
But I will say, I do like when like if it's a family.
That's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean?
That
Like a big house.
combination,
Yeah,
man. Because
yeah,
if you got 5 or 6 different couples stand, I mean, it
that.
could be more cost
Yeah,
effective,
yeah.
and it gives you a time because in a hotel you can't be together.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like I remember we stayed in the Outer Banks and it was like maybe 5 couples, and we had a great weekend. But during the morning, had a kitchen, so we went to grocery shopping. We all cooked breakfast. The men cooked for the women.
Right.
Then at night, if we wanted to watch a movie, we could all come down to the room.
Right.
So that was kind of cool.
Right.
You ain't had to be because you don't just openly invite somebody into your room.
Right.
It's kind of
Kinda, yeah,
awkward. You know what I mean?
because it feels like it's your personal space at that point in
So
time.
it's guess
Yeah.
it's
But
man.
like when I say families, that's what I feel. I like that approach more than me and my own personal family,
Yeah.
right? Because we just went to New York over the weekend. I just got 2 hotel rooms
Right.
because like I ain't want to. I didn't with young kids. I don't want to leave them open to anything like that. Now, if I'm renting a house with 4 other couples,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they see something, they see, you know what I mean? They see something.
And if something pop off, it's 4 of them in there.
Right,
We can all
right.
get busy. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right,
Yeah, we can.
Right, yeah. So we all trying to protect ours at that point in time,
Exactly.
and you know, what I mean, it's fair game.
So let me ask you this. So Airbnb is not in your Valentine's Day future?
Nah, no Airbnb ready for my Valentine's.
No, they're ready for your Valentine's. No,
No.
so what? So, man, I've been married 20. Oh man, I gotta say this right on camera. 27 years. Um, Valentine's Day, man, the expectation level is a little different on my end. I mean, it's hard to get creative after 27 years.
Mhm.
But what is the expectation of Valentine's Day now?
So, to be honest with you, man, we're in the same boat, man. Like to me, probably gonna get killed for this, man. But man, Valentine's Day is overrated.
It's overrated.
It's overrated because like my wife, every day is Valentine's Day. Like I love her the same. I want to do the same stuff for her. Like I'll cook her dinner. You know what I mean? Like I I want her to be good. I want her to be happy. My prayer is like for her to be fulfilled and satisfied in the relationship and what I'm providing for her, the security, sense of security that I give her, the things that the experiences that we can share together at any given time. Like to me, that's my Valentine. You know what I mean? It's every day. You know,
Right.
there's not a day that I wake up that I want to please make you less happy than the day before. You know
And
what I
we
mean?
do this just because. I know me, it might be a Tuesday. Matter of fact, it was just a Tuesday. You
Right.
come home with a bag. Hey, babe, I got this for you. I seen it. I like this for you. Eating out, you eat good all the time. We ate good last weekend. It's always, we eat good, man. I mean, so that's not, but thinking back, when is the last time? I'm not asking you,
Mhm.
I'm asking everybody that the female
Mhm.
did Valentine's Day for the men. I think Valentine's Day from here on out should be geared toward
With
the
the
men.
men. Okay, okay.
Because you have to do something different.
Right.
And because we want to take care of our wives and stuff. I mean, they want to take care of us too, and they do the things to take care of us. But how many times do they come and say, my wife, she say, you have everything, or she
Mhm.
don't know
What they get.
my taste and all
Right.
that. But anytime she does do that for me,
It makes you feel
it makes me feel good.
right.
So yeah, I mean, it has something set up to my job. I'm cool with that.
So you know what? You brought up something that we had planned on talking about, but it's an interesting topic, you know, because most people, you know, most people think of women as nurturers and wanting to take care of the family, right? But I think if you ask any man who is happy in his relationship or wants to be in a relationship, the one thing that will make him the happiest is providing above and beyond whatever his wife's expectations
Oh yeah.
are.
Oh yeah. Oh
Right.
yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and so at the end of the, you know, you think of it, you know, we both give, but like our sacrifice is whatever it takes to make you happy.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
I can't say we, I'm gonna say me. That's what
Yeah.
I want to.
Now, I likewise.
Yeah,
how I
and
feel.
that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? So like it, on the scale of things, if you think about Valentine's Day and the way that it is set up, it like you just want us to do more of what we already do. Like,
Right.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't now.
Because it's gonna want a fake response. Because I just bought you it just because we just went out to eat, just went out of town. So now when I take you out to eat this weekend,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get a fake response because you go out all the time. I mean, it's nothing out the norm,
Right,
really. You
right.
know, I mean, it's the thought though. And
It
it's
is a
setting it- and some relationships you have to really have to do something different, right? You might have a guy say, you know what, I'm calling out, I'm canceling all my appointments, and it shows some effort because
Right.
I'm giving you my time.
Right.
So
And there is times where you can do it because there's been times, there's two times that come in that come into mind. So there was one Valentine's. I'm trying to think. No, that wasn't Valentine's. That was our anniversary. So, but like probably the last memorable thing that I did was I made, like I cooked a dinner of the things that I know is my wife's favorite. So I made like a whole bunch of her favorite things, and that was my Valentine's Day gift to her. But it's crazy because I'm the one that cooked most nights anyway. It was just that little bit of effort that I did to say, okay, well, what things does she really like the most? Like, which is crazy because you would think like, okay, well, great, he made spaghetti, but I know my wife loves spaghetti.
right.
You know what I mean? And then there were some other things that I made along with it, like as far as desserts, because I know those are things that she really likes. And so to her, it's just like, okay, well, this is really sweet because you didn't have to do all of these things, but it showed that I put in a little bit more effort.
Yeah, effort, right. And I think my most memorable one, and yeah, I got to pat my own self on the back for that one, man. So me and my wife always had this thing where I was adamant. I'm never putting a woman's name on my body. Like, what I mean? I've tags, I'm tagged up, but I'm not doing it. So we've been married. I think we was married probably at that time. Might have been right around 10, 12 years. Night before Valentine's, man, I went and got heart on my chest and put her name in it. Now, mind you, this
Somebody said
says hard. Yeah, I'm never putting up that. So I went, I got a tag, put it, and we went out to a seafood restaurant out on the water and everything, man. Was in the restaurant. I said, man, it's getting hot in here, man. Walked out, it's getting hot. And I took my shirt off, man, she seen it, man, and she just started crying.
Oh wow,
Man. She's like, yo, and it's there, it's still there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was probably the most.
They spelled the name right?
Yeah, they spelled it right. So look, while we on this topic, listen, man, I gotta go there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call it the goodie box. Here's the goodie box. Is that a Valentine's Day gift? A legitimate one?
Is that a
Come on now.
Is it a legitimate gift?
Or does it have to be accompanied with something else? Or is it just a cop out?
I think that might be above my pay grade,
Man, listen. Well, Valentine's on Friday, so if we done got intimate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, what makes that a gift
on that day?
Oh, bro, on Valentine's Day. I mean, because you have a lot of man dress it up, wrap it up differently, and say, "Hey, happy Valentine's Day."
Nah. Hey, I mean, sometimes it might come with something that don't get done all the time.
Well, yeah,
that can be a gift.
Hey, man, listen, we gotta talk about
that. Can be a gift. Or it's something that it could be okay. So I'm gonna say yes because it could be something that, let's just say your wife never, like when she go to bed. I mean, we all seen the video, and our wives probably all do it. Get in the big old socks on, sweatpants,
Right.
T-shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the routine. Or it might be a T-shirt and shorts, or But then this night she come in there and everything looking real different.
Pop out on them.
That's a gift.
That's a gift.
That's a gift. That's a gift. Because that's saying, okay, same way with my.
So you mean if I put lotion on my kneecaps and I pop out?
Hey,
That's a gift.
It could be a gift, man. It could be
Hey,
a gift,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you put some, you know what I mean, some nice oils on. I mean, she might be like, okay, I see you trying. Hands might not be ashy,
Yeah.
you
Do a
know,
little
like
something different,
yeah,
man.
do a little something. Nah, but I think that gift thing only go one way because we know how we wired, man. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, like
Yeah.
yeah, nah, ain't gonna work that
Said ain't gonna work
way.
that
It
way.
ain't gonna work that way.
Nah, not even with you the rose petals and all that. No.
Rose petals, you done wasted $50, man.
Says it's a wrap, huh?
It's a wrap.
Where that bag at? What,
That's
what
bag.
you get me?
Yep, what you get. So, but we saying this from a perspective of married men. When we was younger, you know what I mean? I know when I was younger, I did do stuff, you know, dinners and things like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
When you getting to know somebody, but when been with somebody for as long as we have, like that level of expectation of, you know what I mean, top this, it's like it's not even realistic.
Okay.
But like for the young guys, you know what I mean? Yeah, showing some effort, take, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Really just listening, right?
No doubt.
You know if your girl like to get her nails done at a certain place. You know, if
Mhm.
where she like to get her hair done at.
Yeah.
You know, like
If she's stressed, she need a massage.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
she likes to get a massage, but don't maybe get one as much as she like. You know she likes Italian food, but you know she haven't been to this specific restaurant that's known for their fresh pasta.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And so now you're curating a vibe,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Which is
No
what you
doubt.
haven't done. So
Mm-hmm.
this happens, year one, year two, year three, because you learn it, right? You
Right.
learn it,
Right.
right? So like that first year, there's a little bit that you learn. It's like, okay, I'm gonna curate this vibe on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second year, now you're curating another whole type of vibe.
Yeah.
And then, like I think it's important to show effort on those days early
You
on.
said something key. I'm gonna chime in. I'm gonna give us some games. So we'll give it two pieces of game here. First of all, what you said about being attentive and really listening. And for the first few years of my marriage, I'm gonna be transparent. My wife told me, she said, "You don't listen," and I bought her what I wanted her to have. And I did that with you, and I didn't like the reactions that I got when I gifted it to her, because
Right.
and she, oh, you're not listening, right? So, and it took me to grow and to be able to listen and say, okay, now I can drive it home. You can say something in March or last year, and with birthday coming August,
You
Valentine,
got it.
you got it
Right.
because now
I'm
I know.
actively listening.
So that's free game. Listen, and second piece, don't just stop Valentine's Day with wifey. If you have daughters, man, listen. From the time my daughter was in school, she's in college, her second year of college. I haven't missed 1 year where I went up to her school, man, to the office. Here, get this to my daughter. I'm talking about all the way through high school, every Valentine's Day. I just made that a thing to do.
Mhm.
And man, she looked so forward to it. But at the time, I love my girls, man, my wife, my daughter, but at the same time, it's making it hard for a joker just to come and give you a teddy bear and a piece of candy and think that's gonna get him to the promised land.
Right.
Because nah, dad did that for me all the time. I know I'm loved. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah, and that's true. So I mean, I'll say, the trip that we took this week, that we took this weekend, that was my Valentine's gift to my girls, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
like, so I got a three. She's five. I got a 5 year old, a 12 year old, and a 20 year old. And so for my gift to them, we went to New York City,
Mm-hmm.
stayed in town, went to Times Square, took pictures, went and looked at a couple of things, took them to go see a Broadway show,
Wow.
Alicia Keys play Hell's Kitchen. You know what I mean? When we got out, it's crazy because when we went in, it was just a regular night.
Uh-huh.
When we got out, it had snowed like 4 inches.
Wow.
And
Good
we
God.
and we walked because we were only like 2 blocks away.
Uh-huh.
Our hotel was only 2 blocks away from where the show was at.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So, we walking through the snow at 11 o'clock at night through New York City. We get back to the hotel. The pizza spots is still open, so I go get us some slices of pizza. you know what I mean, building those memories.
You never forget that. You never forget that. That's memorable.
It's memorable, but it's raising that level of expectation.
Yeah.
Like a Joker can't be like, yo, we gonna go to New York City and see a play and think that she gonna fall in love with him. Like, yo, my dad did that.
And that's so important, man, when you have daughters. Like you said, you used a term earlier. I like that. What do you say?
Curating the vibe. Yeah.
You got to curate them type of vibes for your daughters. Yeah. So, because Joker's a smooth, man. I know I was a smooth cat, man. Listen, you know what I mean? So, you want them to be accustomed to going out dressing up, just like when we did the father and daughter dance. It took our girls, man. We cut up, had a ball, man, but they love it because it shows them that every guy that come along, that they're not going to be the first guy that's interested in them more. Because my dad showed me this type of interest. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing, man. So like hope you young fellas out there, or even anybody, any fella that's out there, hope you just picking up on some of these gems that we dropping down, about just curating the vibe with your wife, significant other, and with your daughters, because it's important. And if you got sons, it's even more important for them to see how you treat women, right?
Yeah,
because the way because they watching and they looking at everything that you do, and they're going to, good or bad, they're gonna emulate that.
That's it,
right? And so that's a way for you to be able to kind of just lead the path for your sons as well. So
no doubt.
So you got anything else, Troy? Anything?
That's it, man. That's about all I got on my mind this week, man. Like I say, man, still, man, I'm once again, man, if you're going out to that parade tomorrow, man. Part of me itching, man. Part of me want to go out there, but man, I just know how we do, man. We won, and man, that city is gonna be turned up. Matter of fact, they said if you're not in the city by 8:30 a.m., you probably won't be able to get in. They're like, don't even come. 8:30 a.m. They say you're not gonna be able to make it in the city if you're not in. They send emails and everything out.
So it's 8 o'clock. So okay, let's hypothetically, if you was going, what time would you be trying to be in the city?
I would get up. I would be out of my house by 5 a.m. probably, because it's about 2 hours away. Yeah.
You think 7 is early enough?
Me personally, if I had decided to go, I probably would have got a room and been all the way up there. I would have been already there in the city because my tolerance level is not there, man. It's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of foolishness. But let's be safe, man. And look, man, have a great Valentine's Day, man. Just show love, man.
Show love, man. Show love, and show love, and maybe you get a nice little gift.
Maybe get a nice gift. Yeah, and whatever it is, act surprised, man, and be grateful, man.
That's right, man. And don't stress out too much if you can't get that Louis bag, or that Hermes bag this year.
That's it, man. Look, keep pouring into that young man and that young lady, man, and building them up. And one day, man, you better get all your heart desire.
Hey, that's what it is, man.
Yeah,
but look, as always, love is love. Appreciate y'all. Oh, we never even told them, man. They gotta like us. They gotta share.
Oh yeah.
They gotta follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Tap in with us. Man. Tap in. Yeah, we going places. Tap in.
Right. Y'all can grow with us together. Peace.
How long was that?